Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Higher or Lower, the show brought to you by oddschecker, SpreadX and Sports Index, where we look ahead to the weekend's football and say if we think the eventual results will be higher or lower than the midpoint. I am your host, George Ellick, delighted to be joined by Dan Worth.
Hello.
And Jack Wright.
Hello.
Hello, everyone well?
Very well. How are you?
I love the colour of your, what do you call that?
Teal.
No, I was going to say shirt, t-shirt, polo shirt.
Oh, right.
Long sleeve polo.
Yeah, probably that, a long sleeve
If you
polo.
could get the memo next week, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool. That's the small talk done. We've got 2 live games on Friday night, and we're going to kick off with the Championship affair, all-London affair, between Charlton Athletic and Queen's Park Rangers. SpreadX have the goal line at 2.25 to sell, 2.45 to buy, 2.35 is the midpoint. Are we going higher or are we going lower? 3, 2, 1. We're all in agreement. I'll kick us off.
Good.
I think it's been quite scrappy. Charlton, they have not been a particularly strong attacking outfit all season. QPR have been, but with Roman Borrell injured, have kind of tailed off a little bit in that sense, albeit they did score twice against Coventry last weekend with Richard Kone kind of returning back to form and amongst the goals. Charlton have to improve defensively, and that's what has been their undoing over the last few months. But I think Nathan Jones is starting to get that message across. They have had a couple of big wins recently, beat Leicester last time out, beat Sheffield United before that, albeit both kind of thanks to some red cards, 3 across those 2 games. But even so, this looks to me to be a game between 2 teams that will be defensive-minded first and foremost and lacking a bit of attacking quality at the moment, even though at times QPR have been a very good attacking side. I saw them with my own eyes drawing 0-0 against Oxford the other day, and it wasn't pretty. So, yeah, I think low goals here, 0-0, 1-0, big runners, and I'm going lower. Jack, why do you agree?
Well, I agree pretty much with every single point you made. It's how I see it. Imagine it being a scrappy affair, a pretty low-scoring affair.
Yeah.
Fine margins. I think Charlton will earmark, they've had relatively strong home form this season. They'll earmark the fact that this is another big opportunity to get points for their battle for survival. They tend to score at home, don't they? But they tend to score only 1. So that's been a bit of a trend for them. 3 of the last 4 have gone lower than this line as well. And as far as QPR, again, another low-scoring side that has struggled a bit. A good win at the weekend, but prior to that, as I say, it's been pretty turgid stuff. Last couple of games have been 0-0, and 4 of the last 5 in all competitions have gone lower. So yeah, keeping that trend going, I think, in this one.
Dan?
Yeah, I really have nothing to add, but only 3 teams have scored fewer goals than Charlton at home this season, which is, kind of does a lot of the hard work for us here. And QPR haven't scored loads of goals away either, so yeah, it looks like lower than 3.
Lower than 3. Right, the second live affair on Friday night, Leeds hosting Nottingham Forest. Trying to think of what this could be for a derby, but I can't quite get there. I'll think about it in a second. Total goal minutes, 131 is midpoint with SpreadX. So total goals, the time the goals are scored within the game, 126 to sell, 136 to buy. So higher is lots of goals and late goals. Lower is early goals and fewer goals. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't know really. It was kind of on a knife edge. I mean, Leeds have improved a lot in recent weeks. In my mind, I would say that their results, particularly defensively, since their change of shape has really worked. I know that Forest aren't necessarily the kind of Sean Dyche team that we would expect to see. Like their goals have been much more kind of high scoring than we would anticipate. But there have been signs recently that it's starting to change. There was a 0 against Arsenal. There was a 1-0 against Palace last time out. And even with Leeds' recent results, if you take out the 4-0 against Arsenal, it's 1-0, it's 1-0, it's not necessarily the most high-scoring games. I think Leeds have worked out that their way to stay in this division is to work on their defensive shape rather than the kind of championship promotion model, which was to be a very good attacking side, even though they were very good defensively last season too. So, not hugely sold on either of these, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is another low-scoring Friday night clash. Daniel?
Yeah, I think you mentioned Leeds on a bit of an uptick. Forest are too. So I think 2 teams come into this thinking that they can win this game. And obviously both teams would like to, given their current positions in the table. Forest won both of their last away trips, scoring more than once on both occasions. And Leeds, like almost all of their good stuff this season, has come at home. And I think they've only failed to score in 2 of their games. At home this season, 3-1 when these sides met earlier in the season, which made up 186, which is quite a bit higher than this line. That's including 2 goals that were scored in the first 15 minutes, I think. So, yeah, I think 1-3 low, just blanket in the Premier League seems quite low. So I'm happy to take that on.
Jack?
Yeah, I think it's a relatively low line, but similar to you, I was on a bit of a knife edge here because this is a really interesting game as far as the dynamics concerned. 16th and 17th in the table, neck and neck on points as well. 6 points clear of West Ham. So a point for both these sides will then make it a 3-game swing to West Ham, which, given current form across the season so far, that's quite an arse. So it's quite a nice result for this to be a 0-0 or a 1-1. But can that happen? I'm not so certain. There does tend to be goals at Ellen Road, and I've gone down the basis that I think there might be a slow burn and there might be late goals, which with a 1-3-1 line makes it worth attacking for me. So 8 of the last 10 at Ellen Road have seen 3 or more goals scored. Forest has scored 11 away goals this season in 12 road games, and 8 have been scored in the second half. And I just feel that Dyche might well want to take the sting out of that vociferous Ellen Road crowd and build into the game, and therefore we might see late goals in it. And of course, a goal then opens it right up because of the reasons I've already outlined. So yeah, I've gone on the side of higher, but I think it is one of those which is a bit of a, say, knife edge.
Finally, moving on from Friday night, we've got Manchester United hosting Tottenham. United obviously flying under Michael Carrick. Spurs with an impressive draw against home to Man City last time out. Who could have called that? Who could have called
Serious shrewdies out there.
that? Supremacy is the market we're looking at here. 0.95 is the midpoint. Wow. United over Tottenham. 0.85 to sell, 1.05 to buy with spread X. So higher here is a United win, even if it be a 0.05 point profit. Yes. Lower is a draw or a Tottenham win. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, doing it again, lads. I'm doing it again.
You go in.
Even though I'm backing the odds against shot here, I think United are ripe for the taking on at this moment. Yeah, they've won 3 games in a row. Yes, they're scoring goals again, and yes, they look much better. I get that. But definite kind of sustainability question marks around both of their wins, I would say. Like, obviously, we know beating Arsenal away and scoring 3 goals is a magnificent effort, and it came from scoring from range and scoring brilliant goals. But it's very hard to beat Arsenal away, and they managed it. So fair enough. But the Fulham game is the one which is probably a bit more of a concern, where outshot by Fulham. Game state plays a big part in that, but Fulham kind of dominated the board as well, and when Kevin scored the equaliser, it looked like they'd blown a winning position. And defensively against Fulham and Arsenal, they've given a bit away. And Tottenham, to my mind, remain this team who are suited by playing against better teams because it enables them to not have to dominate the ball and to attack in transition. It's going to be an interesting way that this game is going to look, because both United and Tottenham, I would say, in their current guises, don't necessarily want the ball. I think United under Carrick are turning into a team that attack in a similar way. But with United being at home, my assumption is that they will have more of the ball than Spurs, especially when the scores are level. And I think Spurs should be able to hurt them. And Spurs will feel like they, with Solanke back in the team and scoring goals, that's massively impacted the way that they operate from an attacking standpoint. So yeah, I think Spurs can get something out of this. Jack, why am I wrong?
This is very tough to call, isn't it? Come on, it's Man United and Tottenham. Man United have been brilliant over the last 3 games, certainly. They've put a decent unbeaten run together, haven't they? 7 unbeaten in the league. So even prior to Carrick, the shoots were there as such, and this is all they've got to concentrate on. Of course, they're now in the top 4. I just feel that they have got that forward power. That's the thing that's going to make the difference. And it's won 8 goals in 3 games, and they've got that rotation in the forward areas. We've seen Cunha start on the bench and then come on and perform. Sesko now on the bench, come on and get the winning goal. They're kind of still riding that wave at the moment, and I can't get away from how woeful Spurs were in that first half against Manchester City. Manchester City should have put them completely to bed, and they didn't. And I just think that maybe Man United can do that. The fact that I just need a Man United win was the swaying factor in it. I think that they will win it, because I just can't, this Tottenham side, I can't, scorpion kicks, they're unsustainable as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think with the injuries that Spurs have got as well defensively, I think this could be a little bit of a wild encounter. And on that basis, I'm taking the Man United attack to outperform the Spurs attack.
Dan?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with your unsustainable comments based on all the points I made last week. all of the attacking stats for Man United have been really strong all season, and they just weren't scoring goals and therefore weren't winning matches. But now they are, and yes, I agree, like the goals against Arsenal, you can't do that all season. It's much like Reading with Lewis Wing, it's not massively sustainable to score from 40 yards all the time. Well, maybe if you have a player like him in your team, but I mean, Casemiro scores good goals, but not quite as good as Lewis Wing. But Tottenham are just like, that result against Man City is really papering over the cracks for me. Their away form has been terrible. They've won just one of their last 7 on the road, including draws against teams right down the bottom.
Don't you worry about it.
I'm not too worried. And United have been decent recently. As I said, all the stats, particularly going forward, have been strong all season, as has their home form been all season. Obviously lost to Arsenal on the first day of the season, which was tough. Like they deserved more than that, I think. And yeah, only lost twice, including that game. So I think United's home form, plus just the positive forward trajectory for them under Carrick, it's a Man United win.
Positive forward traj. Right, Newcastle hosting Brentford now. Next up, total goals is the market here. Newcastle having been dispatched by Manchester City, 5-1 on aggregate in the Carabao Cup. Total goals, the Sporting Index is 3.1 is the midpoint, 3 to sell, 3.2 to buy. So higher here is 4 goals or more, lower 3 or fewer. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Yeah. I'm quite confident in this one as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just think Newcastle on fumes. I think they really are struggling. That midweek game has not done them any favours, and how kind of poorly it went for them. They created lots of chances, and that in itself is a problem. Wissa and Voltmada aren't taking the chances they're creating. Anthony Gordon's hamstring injury is going to impact that forward area as well. They have got a little bit of depth in those wide areas, but even so, the main issue for me, I think, is that midfield, which has been shorn of Guimaraes and, of course, of Joe Linton. Tonali is playing these games and again struggling as far as being able to have to be out there all the time. So that will impact them, and I think they would take a narrow, low-scoring, scruffy win against Brentford, who aren't generally good on the road, but picked up a good win against Villa, of course, recently. And that showed that they've got that kind of tenacity, that resilience, dogged performance down to 10 men, faced a lot of shots, but nothing too clear-cut they were against. And I just think that energy here might well just possibly get them to spring a surprise. And if they do get their noses in front, expect them to revert to that kind of Villa template, albeit hopefully with 11 men for their sake, and look to hit on the counter-attack. So 9 of the last 10 have gone lower, Brentford on the road. So I think that might well continue here. Obviously needing 4 for it to go higher. That's quite a high line. So I just think Newcastle haven't got it in them at this moment in time to do what they've done in the past.
Yeah, it's interesting because you say that, and I agree about Newcastle's the physical demands and what the impact that's having on them. But I think it's making their games more open, if anything. Like there was that 4-3 against Leeds a couple of weeks ago, but since then we've had a 3-0. We've had the 3-1 against City, the 4-1 away at Liverpool, and even that 1-1 draw against PSG. There were loads of chances in that game. And their games are just descending into chaos because, as you say, I think their midfield doesn't really exist, but they've still got obviously very good attacking players. Brentford, I take your point, but about their away performances, but they're just a team who, to my mind, basically always cause teams issues. I mean, we have seen games of theirs recently, the 4-1 against Bournemouth, the 4-2 against Everton, get pretty lively. And I think if Newcastle are undercooked, then I think Brentford should be able to take them to the sword for that. So this is a game that suggests goals to me, albeit having heard Jack's reasoning, I'm a bit less confident now. Dan?
Yeah, I've got similar reasoning to you, actually, is that I think Brentford can cause Newcastle a lot of issues here. And to build on what you said, a Newcastle team that played last night in quite an arduous fixture, which they came out the wrong side of. So yeah, I quite fancy Brentford here. This line has landed in 4 of the last 5 between these two teams. So it's got a history of goals, and I hope we see more of those this time out.
Good stuff. Yeah, 2 more games to discuss. We're going to kick off. Well, we're not kicking off. We've been going for ages. Brighton versus Crystal Palace. 2 teams that do not like each other very much. Bookings is the market we're looking at here. 46 is the midpoint here. 44 to sell, 48 to buy. 10 points for a yellow card, 25 points for a red card. Not an overly high line, I wouldn't say.
No.
Going higher or lower? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't know. It's Thomas Bramall on the whistle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a stellar appointment for cards. Someone who's averaging, is it 3.8? I think he is, according to my friends at whoscored.com. Let me just check that as we go. But yeah, he's not one that screams cards. I looked to see if there was any kind of data around his record in games between kind of rivals. I can't really find much there. He started the season in quite good card form. On opening day, showed a red card in Bournemouth against Wolves and 5 yellows. In Wolves Chelsea in the League Cup, he showed 8 yellows and a red. But recently, it's been very, very few. 1, 4, 2, 7, 6, 6, 2 in his most recent games in the Premier League. So there's a few that have gone over there. And I increasingly feel like the way the referees are managing rivalries and derbies in the Premier League is to keep their cards in their pocket. And even though this is a game between two sides that don't like each other, it's not one of those derbies where we see like an insane amount of cards every week. So I'm going lower. Jack?
Yeah, I think I'm happy enough with Thomas Bramall. I think he's got it in him for it to unravel. I think he's involved in a little incident during the week as well. So, yeah, maybe he'll be a bit tetchy. We'll have to see. I've focused a little bit here on the fact that these sides, don't like each other. And surprisingly, I think they rank, as far as the cards across their games this season are concerned, 2nd and 7th in the table for cards. And their averages are strong. 4.58 Brighton, 4.0 Crystal Palace. 5 in the reverse, so that cashes. And then 10 and 5 in the 2 games last season. No further questions you want to?
Dan?
Yeah, I'd say all of those stats written here, lovely. I mean, I'll take that one, not last time out, the one before, with the 3 red cards and 3 bookings here and there. That would be very lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that line, you don't even really need that. Seems quite low for a game where
5 yellows.
2 teams don't like each other.
Yeah, I think I'm just a bit stung by recently going higher in a few derbies, and then it just kind of fizzles into nothing. And referees just very consciously keeping their cards in their pocket in order to manage the game. Right, Liverpool hosting Man City is the game of the weekend on Sunday afternoon. Liverpool just about favourites here. 0.05 to sell, 0.25 to buy. 0.15 is the midpoint. So higher here is a Liverpool win, lower is City or draw. 3, 2, 1. All in agreement. Damn.
Yeah, interestingly, spoke to a Liverpool fan yesterday who was very confident coming up against Manchester City. Clearly, we don't share the same confidence. And I mean, like, it's that age-old thing, like draw is a massive player here. And City are pretty decent, I'd argue. And they can go there and get a result. Obviously, in the back of their mind, they'll be thinking, can't really afford to lose this game if we are to keep up the pace with Arsenal.
They've probably got to win it, haven't they?
They probably do have to win it. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for our position here, although it has been a little while since City have won at Anfield. But yeah, again, it's similar reasons to the last time we spoke about Liverpool. They're conceding goals, but they are also scoring goals. But City have the players, as they have done for the last few seasons, that can really hurt Liverpool. And I think, Liverpool are going to concede against Man City, if not once, maybe even more. So I think City win or draw is massive.
Yeah, I don't know. I found this very tough. Liverpool are in really good form. You take out that Bournemouth result, the 3-2, then they haven't lost in any competition dating back to the end of November, that 4-1 defeat against PSV. So Arne Slot has certainly turned them around, and they've got some players like Ekitike and Wirtz just look brilliant now. Like really, really good. And I love the fact that Wirtz has kind of shown people that you can't judge a player off the back of about 3 performances early in the season. These things take time. But having said that, there's more of a, for City, this is just a massive, massive game for their title chances. As you say, like a loss here would just be a total disaster for them. And they are playing okay, and they rested Haaland, who didn't start in midweek. So he'll be coming into this ready. It was a pretty good performance from an attacking standpoint against Newcastle last time out, even though they did concede a few chances. But yeah, I'm just going to side with, even though this is also a big game for Liverpool because they've got to force their way into the top 4 or probably 5. I'm just, on the balance probabilities, I think the win or the draw for City are more likely.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of just the averages for me, really, where we're looking at getting 2 results on side for Manchester City. Both sides are obviously decent, goes without saying, really. Both sides do need to win it, in my opinion. And I think this is another one that could be a little bit wild. I think this could be an end-to-end classic. Lots of goals in it, lots of opportunities. Attacks far better than both sides' defences at the moment. Transition for both really in defence, which could be a problem against the talent that is on show in the forward areas for both sides. So on that basis, I think Manchester City probably just edge that forward department over Liverpool. But it's a tight one to call. And that's what it came down to at the end of the day. I'm getting 2 results on side by going lower, so I'm having it.
Right, time for a nap. Best bet of the weekend. Dan, coming to you first.
Yeah, I'm going for a sell this week, which is not very often for me.
What's happened?
I know, it's ridiculous.
What have you done with Dan?
I know. I'm going for a sell of total corners in Arsenal versus Sunderland at 10. Because
niche.
Everybody thinks that Arsenal get lots of corners because they're so good at scoring them and X, Y and Z. Well, they do. But they concede the fewest corners of any team in the league, and they're coming up against a side, Sunderland, whose games this season have seen the lowest average corners of any team. Only 29% of Sunderland games so far this season have gone above this line. And even though what I said about Arsenal and them having lots of corners is true, only 46% of their games have gone over. If you look at the last time these sides met in the reverse, it was 2 each, so 4. If we see that again, that'll be a huge win. So, yeah, no corners, please.
Jack?
Yeah, tried and tested for me here. It's been successful.
Total goal minutes.
Total goal minutes for a team. Team total goal minutes. And it's in League 2, and it's Cheltenham versus MK Dons. I'm going for MK Dons total goal minutes, which is a midpoint at 78, which is pretty high. I was originally going to play the total goal minutes in the match, which it's the lowest line in League 2 of the weekend, 123. But then I'm thinking, well, who am I expecting to contribute towards that line? And realistically, it's the MK Dons. Cheltenham are in terrible form at the moment, lost 6 of the last 7 in all competitions, and they've conceded 2 or more goals in all those defeats as well. 5 league defeats, 112 minutes, 79 minutes, 105 minutes, then 0, 134 and 132. So generally higher than the line we need here when they've conceded goals. And MK Dons just 1 defeat in the last 10 in the league across all venues. They're the top scorers away from home, 27 goals. They've only failed to score in 1 road game this season. And 34, their games have seen 34 goals in the last 10 games. So I wouldn't put anyone off that total line, to be fair. But I think MK Dons will do the heavy lifting in it. They've scored multiple times in 7 of the last 8 away in all competitions. Higher 182 in that run as well, 160 in there also, a couple of hundreds. The reverse fixture was 5-0 to MK. We were making up a total of 189, but I expect MK Dons to score at least 2 goals in this game. And although they do like an early goal, I think we might still get over the line here of 78 as a midpoint.
Lovely stuff. I'm going to what I think will be one of the best games of the whole weekend. Ooh. But it's on Monday, so it's on the weekend. Possibly. Sheffield United hosting Middlesbrough. Massive game for both teams. I would really encourage you, if you normally watch Premier League Monday Night Football and there isn't one this week, so you thought, I'm not going to watch anything, watch this. Watch this, because Kim Hellberg's Borough are a sensational watch. Chris Wilder's Sheffield United, as ever, are great fun. Huge game for Sheffield United in terms of trying to force their way into the playoff picture. Huge game for Middlesbrough, who are going to know what happened in Coventry-Oxford. Hopefully Coventry don't win it. But they're currently level on points going into the weekend. Just a massive game between two sides who are hoping to play Premier League football next season with very, very different chances of doing so. Sheffield United have scored 3 goals in their last 5 home games. Borough are free scoring in under Kim Hellberg. They're averaging 2.8 goals per game in their last 5. To me, this is just a game that screams goals, and the goal line isn't very high. It's 2.7 to sell, 2.9 to buy. I'd be amazed if it doesn't edge over 3 over the course of the coming days. Goals cubed is 53. We saw an 8-goal thriller between Wrexham and Sheffield United relatively recently. We've seen Borough games go pretty mad too. There was a 3-2 against West Brom recently. There was a 4-0 against Preston, which would take you over what you need. So, yeah, goals galore in what should be a brilliant spectacle. The midpoint, 46 to sell, 53 to buy, so 49.5. Yeah, goals, Monday Night Football. You'll be watching, won't you? I
will be, yeah. I'm really looking forward to that one, actually.
Great. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this week's episode of Higher or Lower. If you haven't already got a SpreadX or a Sporting Index account, make sure you click on the link in the show description to sign up for an account. Do read up on the risks of spread betting, and remember that losses can exceed your initial deposit. Check out oddschecker for all your fixed odds betting needs, and whoscored.com have all the stats needed to inform your football betting. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, George.
Albeit next time I see you, Oxford and Norwich would have played each other.
I will.
So I might not be talking to
Okay,
you.
and what's your score prediction?
1-1.
Okay.
You?
3-1.
2.
Norwich.
Dan?
I'm going to go
No, John.
4-0 to Norwich.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend's football, and please ensure that you're gambling responsibly.